What if I told you that in just the next few minutes, you could find the peace that's been missing from your life? I know that might sound too good to be true, especially if you've been carrying the weight of stress, anxiety, or exhaustion for what feels like forever. But here's what I've discovered, and what millions of people throughout history have experienced firsthand: there are ancient words so powerful, they've been comforting hearts and renewing spirits for thousands of years. These aren't just pretty phrases or motivational quotes that sound nice but fade away when real life hits. No, these are living, breathing truths that have sustained people through their darkest nights and most overwhelming days. You see, there's something different about words that come from the heart of God Himself. They don't just scratch the surface of our struggles, they dive deep into the very core of what we need most. When your mind is racing at 3 in the morning, when your heart feels heavy with burdens you can't share with anyone else, when you feel like you're drowning in responsibilities and expectations, these verses become more than just text on a page. They become lifelines. They become the gentle whisper that says, "You're not alone," when loneliness feels suffocating. They become the strong arms that hold you when you feel like you're falling apart. Today, we're diving into verses that don't just inspire for a moment and then leave you right back where you started. These are words that actually transform, that work their way into the broken places of your heart and begin a healing process that's both mysterious and absolutely real. Whether you've grown up hearing these verses or you're encountering them for the very first time, I promise you they have something fresh to offer your weary soul today. So here's what I want you to do right now. Find a comfortable spot, maybe it's that favorite chair where you drink your morning coffee, or perhaps you're lying in bed at the end of a long day. Take a deep breath with me. Let your shoulders drop. Release that tension you didn't even realize you were holding. And now, let these timeless truths wash over your weary soul like a gentle rain on parched ground. Your spirit is about to be renewed. Life has a way of wearing us down, doesn't it? I don't know what brought you here today, but I'm guessing you know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe it's the constant pressure that seems to squeeze tighter with each passing day, making it hard to breathe freely. Or perhaps it's those endless to-do lists that never seem to get shorter no matter how hard you work, always leaving you feeling like you're falling behind. It could be the weight of worry that follows you everywhere, from the moment you wake up until you finally fall asleep at night, and sometimes even invading your dreams. There's this exhaustion that goes deeper than just being tired, isn't there? It's the kind of weariness that settles into your bones and makes even simple tasks feel overwhelming. You might find yourself going through the motions of daily life while feeling disconnected from the joy and peace you once knew. Maybe you've tried different strategies to find relief: meditation apps, self-help books, positive thinking techniques, and while some might have helped temporarily, that deep need for renewal keeps calling out from within your spirit. But here's what I want you to consider today: what if renewal wasn't something you had to work so hard to achieve? What if peace wasn't this elusive thing you had to chase after, always staying just out of reach? What if, instead of you hunting for peace, peace could actually find you right where you are in this very moment, tired, stressed, overwhelmed, and all? Today, we're exploring Bible verses that have been lifelines for millions of people throughout history, people who faced the same struggles you're facing right now. These aren't just words that motivate for a moment and then fade away when reality hits. These are words that don't just inspire, they actually heal, restore, and transform from the inside out. Let's start with something we all know too well, that feeling when your mind won't quiet down, when your thoughts are spinning like a tornado, and peace feels absolutely impossible to find. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? It's that racing heart that starts the moment you wake up, sometimes even before your feet hit the floor. It's the mental chatter that never seems to stop, replaying conversations, worrying about tomorrow's meetings, or cycling through all the things that could go wrong. Maybe you've tried counting sheep, deep breathing exercises, or even medication, but your mind just keeps churning like a restless ocean during a storm. I want you to listen carefully to these powerful words from Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Now, before you think this sounds too simple or dismiss it as just another feel-good Bible verse, let me share something profound that might change how you hear these words. Notice how it doesn't say, if you're anxious, or, when you feel like being anxious. It says, do not be anxious. At first glance, this might sound dismissive, like someone telling you to just calm down when you're in the middle of a panic attack. This isn't denial or spiritual bypassing. This is actually a divine invitation to release what you cannot control into hands that are big enough to handle it. The original Greek word used here for anxious means to be pulled in different directions, to be distracted by cares. God is essentially saying, stop letting your worries pull you apart. The promise here isn't that your problems will magically disappear or that life will suddenly become easy and stress-free. No, the promise is something even better, that God's peace, which surpasses all human understanding, which doesn't make logical sense given your circumstances, will actually guard your heart and mind like a supernatural security system, protecting you from the anxiety that tries to overwhelm you. Maybe you're not anxious, maybe you're just tired. Not the kind of tired that a good night's sleep can fix, but that bone-deep, soul-tired exhaustion that makes you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You know this feeling, don't you? It's when you wake up in the morning and already feel defeated before the day even begins. It's when simple tasks that used to be easy now feel like climbing a mountain. It's when people ask how you're doing, and you say, fine, because you don't have the energy to explain that you feel like you're running on empty, wondering how much longer you can keep going. Maybe you've been the strong one for so long that everyone expects you to have it all together. You're the one people come to for advice, the one who holds the family together, the one who never complains. But inside, you're crying out, I can't do this anymore. I don't have anything left to give. Perhaps you've been caring for aging parents while raising your own children, working multiple jobs to make ends meet, or dealing with health issues that drain your energy day after day. Life feels too heavy to carry, and you're not sure how much longer you can hold on. Listen to these life-giving words from Isaiah chapter 40, verses 28 through 31, do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not be faint. Did you catch that incredible truth? Even youths grow tired and weary. Even the strongest, most energetic people stumble and fall. This isn't about your weakness or failure, this is about the human condition. God isn't surprised by your exhaustion or disappointed in your limitations. He created you as a human being, not a machine, and he knows exactly what you need. The Hebrew word for renew here is absolutely beautiful. It means to exchange, to swap out. You're not just getting a little boost of energy like drinking another cup of coffee. No, you're actually trading your exhaustion for his endless, inexhaustible strength. Sometimes it's not tiredness or anxiety that's weighing you down, sometimes it's disappointment. That deep, crushing disappointment that comes when life doesn't go according to plan, when the future you imagine crumbles right before your eyes. Maybe you're sitting there right now thinking about the dreams that didn't come true, the doors that slammed shut just when you thought you were finally making progress, the relationships that ended when you thought they would last forever. Perhaps it's the job you didn't get after months of interviews, the medical diagnosis that changed everything, the financial crisis that wiped out years of careful planning, or the family situation that fell apart despite your best efforts to hold it together. You know that feeling when you've invested so much of yourself into something, your time, your energy, your hopes, your heart, and then it all falls apart. It's not just sadness, it's a kind of grief that makes you question everything. You start wondering if you made wrong choices, if you missed some sign, if maybe you're just not meant to have good things happen to you. The disappointment doesn't just hurt, it makes you afraid to hope again, afraid to dream again, afraid to trust that good things are still possible for your life. Maybe you've been telling yourself that this is just how life is, that you need to lower your expectations and stop believing that things can get better. But what if I told you that your broken dreams and shattered plans don't disqualify you from God's goodness? They actually position you to receive something even better than what you originally imagined. Listen to these powerful words from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. Here's what makes this verse absolutely incredible. It was written to people who had lost everything. The Israelites were in exile, torn away from their homeland, their temple destroyed, their dreams shattered. They were living as refugees in a foreign land, wondering if God had forgotten them, if their story was over. Yet in the midst of their deepest despair, God says something remarkable: I know the plans I have for you. Not, I had plans, or, I might have plans, or, I'm trying to figure out new plans, but, I know. Present tense. Active. Certain. Your current chapter of disappointment and broken dreams isn't your final story, it's actually preparing you for something beautiful that you can't even imagine yet. Maybe your struggle isn't anxiety, exhaustion, or even disappointment, maybe it's the overwhelming weight of responsibility that's crushing you. You're the one everyone depends on, the one who has to make all the decisions, the one who carries the burden for everyone else's well-being. Perhaps you're a single parent juggling work and childcare, feeling like you're failing at both. Maybe you're caring for aging parents while trying to maintain your own family and career, stretched so thin you don't know which way to turn first. Or perhaps you're in a leadership position where people are constantly bringing you their problems, and you feel like you're drowning in everyone else's needs while your own heart is crying out for someone to care for you. You know that feeling when you lie awake at night, your mind racing through all the things you need to handle tomorrow, all the people who are counting on you, all the problems that somehow became your responsibility to solve. It's that suffocating sensation of being needed by everyone but having nowhere to turn when you need help yourself. You've become so good at being strong for others that you've forgotten what it feels like to let someone else be strong for you. The weight of always having to have the answers, always having to be the one people can lean on, is slowly crushing your spirit. Here's something that might surprise you: Jesus knew exactly what this felt like. He was constantly surrounded by people who needed something from him: healing, answers, hope, direction. The crowds followed him everywhere, pressing in on him, demanding his attention and energy. He felt the weight of responsibility for an entire world's redemption on his shoulders. He understood what it meant to be overwhelmed by the needs of others, to feel like everyone was depending on you. That's exactly why his invitation in Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30, is so incredibly powerful and personal. Listen to these gentle, loving words: Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Notice the first words: come to me. Not, figure everything out first, not, get your life together and then come, not, clean up your act and prove you're worthy, just come. As you are, where you are, with all your overwhelming responsibilities and crushing burdens. His yoke is easy, not because life suddenly becomes effortless, but because you're no longer carrying the weight alone. Maybe your struggle isn't with circumstances but with how you see yourself. Perhaps the heaviest burden you carry isn't external pressure or overwhelming responsibilities, but the constant weight of feeling like you're not enough. Not smart enough, not talented enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, not worthy enough to be loved, valued, or even noticed. You look in the mirror and see all your flaws magnified, while everyone else seems to have their life together. You scroll through social media and compare your behind-the-scenes struggles with everyone else's highlight reels, leaving you feeling even more inadequate and forgotten. Maybe you've been carrying shame from past mistakes, replaying failures over and over in your mind until they become the lens through which you see yourself. Perhaps someone's careless words from years ago still echo in your head, telling you that you're not valuable, that you don't matter, that you're a disappointment. Or maybe it's not one big traumatic moment but 1,000 small cuts: being overlooked for promotions, excluded from social circles, dismissed in conversations, or treated as if your thoughts and feelings don't matter. Over time, these experiences have whispered lies into your heart until you've started believing them as truth about who you are. The enemy of your soul loves nothing more than to convince you that you're insignificant, that your existence doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, that the world would be just as well off without you. He wants you to believe that you're an accident, a cosmic mistake, someone who slipped through the cracks and ended up here by random chance. But what if I told you that nothing could be further from the truth? What if every lie you've believed about your worth crumbles in the face of what God actually thinks about you? Listen to these life-changing words from Psalm 139, verses 13 and 14, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made, your works are wonderful, I know that full well." Let that sink in for a moment. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Not accidentally thrown together, not carelessly assembled, but fearfully, which means with reverent care, with awe, with intentional design and purpose. The Hebrew word for fearfully here carries the idea of something so magnificent and intricate that it inspires wonder and respect. Your existence isn't random, it's purposeful. Every detail of who you are was crafted with intention. You're not a mistake trying to find meaning in a chaotic world, you're a masterpiece slowly discovering your incredible purpose. Uncertainty can be absolutely paralyzing, can't it? There's something uniquely terrifying about not knowing what comes next, about standing at a crossroads with no clear direction, about facing decisions that could change everything but having no guarantee about the outcome. Maybe you're facing a major life transition, a job change, a move to a new city, a relationship decision, or a health challenge, and you feel completely lost about which direction to take. Perhaps you've been praying for clarity, seeking advice from friends and family, making pro and con lists, but the path forward still feels shrouded in fog. You know that suffocating feeling when you desperately want to make the right choice, but you're terrified of making the wrong one? When you lie awake at night playing out different scenarios in your mind, trying to predict every possible outcome, attempting to control variables that are completely beyond your control? Maybe you've been waiting for a sign, for some dramatic moment of clarity that will make the decision obvious, but instead you're left with this uncomfortable space of not knowing. The uncertainty doesn't just affect your circumstances, it affects your peace, your sleep, your ability to enjoy the present moment because you're so consumed with anxiety about the future. Perhaps you're someone who likes to have a plan, who feels secure when you can see the next 5 steps ahead. But life has thrown you into a season where you can barely see the next step, let alone the whole staircase. Maybe it's a financial situation where you don't know how you're going to make ends meet next month. Perhaps it's a relationship that's in limbo, or a health diagnosis that has turned your whole world upside down. You want to trust God, you want to have faith, but it's hard to trust someone when you can't see where they're leading you. Here's what I want you to hear today: God's faithfulness isn't dependent on your ability to see the whole picture. Listen to these reassuring words from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." Notice that powerful phrase, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Not just the parts that make sense to you, not just when you can understand his plan, not just when the path is clear and comfortable. All your heart means even the scared parts, even the confused parts, even the parts that wish you had more information before making this decision. The promise isn't that life will become easy or problem-free, but that he will make your path straight, leading you exactly where you need to go, even when you can't see how all the pieces fit together. As we close this time together, I want you to know something that might change everything for you. These aren't just beautiful, inspiring words that were written thousands of years ago and have no relevance to your modern life. These aren't just poetic verses that sound nice when you're feeling spiritual but fall flat when real life hits hard. No, these are living, breathing promises that are available to you right now, in this very moment, exactly where you are. Whether you're carrying the crushing weight of anxiety that makes it hard to breathe, whether you're exhausted to the point where you don't know how you'll make it through another day, whether you're nursing deep disappointment from dreams that didn't come true, or whether you're paralyzed by uncertainty about what comes next, these truths are your inheritance. You don't have to wait until you feel different to believe them. You don't have to wait until your circumstances change, until you get your act together, until you feel more worthy or more spiritual or more deserving. You don't have to earn these promises through good behavior or prove that you're worthy of them through perfect faith. They're not conditional on your performance, your track record, or your ability to understand how they work. They're yours simply because you're His, because you're loved by a God who sees you completely and chooses you anyway. Right now, wherever you are, whether you're listening to this in your car during a lunch break, lying in bed at the end of another difficult day, or taking a quiet moment before the chaos of your day begins, I want you to take a deep breath with me. Feel your shoulders relax. Notice if there's tension you've been carrying that you didn't even realize was there. Now breathe out slowly, and as you do, feel some of that weight lifting, even if it's just a little bit. This is what renewal feels like. It's not always a sudden, dramatic transformation where everything changes in an instant. More often, it's this gentle return to truth, this quiet remembering of who you really are and whose you really are. You are loved with an everlasting love that will never let you go. You are held by hands that are strong enough to carry whatever you're facing. You are not alone, even when it feels like the whole world has forgotten you. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning. If these words brought even a moment of peace to your heart today, if something stirred within your spirit as you listened, if you felt that gentle whisper of hope that maybe, just maybe, things really can get better, then I have a request for you. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it too. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? That friend who's been struggling lately, the family member who seems to be carrying the world on their shoulders, the coworker who puts on a brave face but you can see the weariness in their eyes. Maybe it's someone who's been on your heart, and you've been wondering how you can help them but didn't know what to say. Here's something beautiful about hope and peace: they multiply when they're shared. When you pass along encouragement, it doesn't diminish what you received, it actually grows. Your simple act of sharing might be exactly what someone needs to hear today. It might be the lifeline they've been desperately searching for, the reminder that they're not forgotten, the gentle nudge toward healing that changes everything for them. You never know how God might use your willingness to share these truths to bring renewal to another weary soul. And here's something else I want you to remember: this isn't just inspiration for today that will fade away by tomorrow morning. These truths aren't like motivational quotes that give you a temporary high but leave you feeling empty when real life returns. No, these are eternal promises that are as true tomorrow as they are today, as relevant in your darkest moments as they are in your brightest ones. Come back to these verses whenever you need them. In your brightest ones. Come back to these verses whenever you need them. Bookmark this video, save it to your playlist, write these scriptures down and put them where you'll see them daily. They'll be here, waiting to renew your spirit again and again, ready to remind you of who you are and whose you are whenever you forget. Until we meet again, until the next time our paths cross in our shared journey toward hope and healing, may you walk in the peace that surpasses all understanding, that supernatural calm that doesn't make sense given your circumstances but guards your heart anyway. And may you rest deeply in the love that never lets you go, no matter how far you wander or how many times you stumble.